We're glad to have Stephen Schuck with us. He is the building engineer at the Mandalay Bay who was there that night on the 32nd floor when the first shots were fired. Stephen, good morning to you. It's good to see you.
Good morning. Thank you.
We just learned, Stephen, about all that you went through in this experience. So I guess the first question is how you're doing right now.
I'm doing as well as expected, better as the days pass.
And take us through it, Stephen. There's been a lot of confusion about how this all transpired. What happened?
My side, my story, I was on a higher floor when I was called to check out a fire exit door that would not open. So I came down to the 32nd floor from a different wing, and I was walking down. I didn't hear anything. Kept walking. I turned the corner from what we call the center core into the 100 hallway. I thought I saw someone poke their head out, but nothing set off my radar unusual yet, and it was silent at this time. And as I kept walking down the hallway, I was about a third of the way down the hallway, and I started to hear shots go off. They were not in the hallway yet. And as soon as they stopped, I saw Jesus pop out because the doors in the hallway are set back about a foot. And he popped out and he yelled at me to take cover. And as soon as I started to go to a door to my left, the rounds started coming down the hallway. I could feel them pass right behind my head. Something hit me in the back and I took cover. I tried to think how I could get to Jesus because I could see that he was shot in the leg. And I just told myself, wait for him. He's gonna have to stop shooting sometime. And it was kind of relentless. So I called over the radio what was going on. As soon as the shooting stopped, we made our way down the hallway and took cover again. And then the shooting started again.
Hey, Stephen, let me just say something. We've heard this audio recording now. First of all, how did you remain so calm? Maybe your voice betrays what was going on actually inside of you. And second of all, if the reports are true that there were 200 rounds fired by the gunman into the hall, you must feel incredibly lucky that you weren't hit.
Yeah, I am incredibly blessed that somehow I came out of there alive. When he first started shooting, I was kind of in disbelief, but I told myself, remain calm. If I freak out right now, it's only going to get me killed or injured, and remain calm and call it over the radio so we can get police on their way as soon as possible.
Stephen, you mentioned Jesus Campos, who of course is the security guard who received a gunshot wound. He warned you. He said, "Get down or get out." Do you feel he saved your life?
Yes. My whole family and we all appreciate him. At first, when the first shooting started, I was kind of frozen for a second, and he yelled at me, take cover, and if he yelled a second too late, I would have been shot, so I owe him my life.
What happened when the police arrived, Stephen? Were you still there?
I was still there, yes. We kind of were directing him like it's this hallway, at the end of the hallway. Me and Jesus, we never saw the door open, so we thought he was shooting from the peephole in the door. We were just telling police that, and then my supervisor was there. He handed me his master keys, and I ran down and shut off all the guest elevators and stopped guests on the basement floor. Just let them know we have an incident upstairs, stay down here. And then I made my way back up to the 32nd floor to give him his keys so he could give them to the police so they could use them.
Stephen, after going through something like this, do you see yourself, can you go back to work there? Can you ever feel the same way about going back to work at that hotel?
Yeah, it's definitely difficult, but for someone to do something so cowardly and despicable, I'm not gonna let that change my life. I mean, I'm gonna go back to work, and I like my career, and I'm not gonna let that define me.
Stephen, you were incredibly brave in the most unfathomable of circumstances. Please give our best to Jesus, your colleague, and we appreciate your time this morning. We really do.
Thank you, Stephen.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.